Hey guys, Dr. Justin Marcagiani here today. We're going to be talking about my new book that is finally out, The Thyroid Reboot. Go to thyroidreboot.com. That'll bring you right to the Amazon page. We got a discount here for the first week that is out, so feel free to take a look at it. Again, we're going to dive into just a concept. I did a live video just a little bit ago. I'm going to just really do a concise version of that video here today to really dive into one topic. That's the Thyroid-Gut-Immune axis. It's the concept that we have this thyroid up here. This is where the thyroid's located, but our immune system, 80% of the cells are located in the gut, in the gall, the gastric associated lymphoid tissue, or the mucosal associated lymphoid tissue. That's in your intestinal tract. And that's where 80% of your immune cells. And so most thyroid issues tend to have an autoimmune component. That means your immune system is attacking your thyroid and most of your immune cells in your gut. So of course it makes sense to look at your gut. But when you go to your endocrinologist or your primary, they're not connecting gut. They're not connecting any of the things we're going to talk about in today's video. They're just simply saying, is your TSH elevated? Oh, it is. Are you having any thyroid symptoms? Here's a prescription of levothyroxine, Levoxyl, Synthroid to bring that TSH down, let's say below 3, below 2.5, and then they're happy. But you may still have thyroid symptoms after that, and then what do? Because if you keep on going back and your thyroid from a TSH standpoint, which they never really look at the whole lab, right? All the labs, TSH, T4, T3, maybe you're breaking it up into T3 free in total, T4 free in total, thyroid antibodies, TPO, thyroid globulin, reverse T3, etc. They're probably not doing that. So if you go back and you still have these issues, they may write you a prescription for an antidepressant and kind of allude, hey, this is just all in your head, or worst case, just say, hey, this is just aging, just get used to it. But you know intuitively something is deeper upstream. And again, I'm not anti-medicine. This is kind of my tagline. I'm not anti-medicine, I'm pro-root cause. And so if you're using medicine, but you're still getting to the root cause, I support that. Just the problem is a lot of times it's easy to go the medicine route, control the symptom, but the underlying physiological root cause is still in motion. You're just numbing your body to what's happening from a perception standpoint upstream. And then what happens over time is side effects happen because you can't ignore the underlying cause and not have it create a problem down the road, right? The case in point is you're driving a car, the check engine light comes on, you can put tape over that light. Look, you don't see it, but we know it still means something in the engine is still happening and still in motion. So we want to always look at it and be pro-root cause. So a couple things here. Thyroidreboot.com, I talk about all these concepts. I go deep into it. So if you want a compendium, you know, the best thing with everything's in one place and all my pictures and drawings and stuff, that's a great way to look at it and support me. So thyroidreboot.com. This article on my radar, I think it was in my book. I put it in my book. I had maybe 500 references in my book. I can't remember them all, but this is a good one. I like it because it connects the dots with the thyroid gut axis, how the microbiome impacts it. A couple things I wanted to highlight out of the gate. There's a connection with thyroid and the gut. You can see the intestinal tract plays a major role. In Hashimoto's, even Graves' and autoimmune thyroid condition are connected to celiac. Your likelihood of having an autoimmune thyroid issue when you have celiac goes up 5 or 10-fold. It's very much elevated. Now, the problem is people say, well, I don't have celiac, therefore I'm okay. You can still have gluten sensitivity where you're still having a typical immunological reaction to gluten. It's not in the way that a celiac has it. A celiac's going to have antibodies to transglutaminase and maybe endomysial, which means there's damage to the microvilli, to the intestinal tract, and to the nerves going to that area. And you have that 80% atrophy of the microvilli, and you have this class 2B3 Marsh score, which is what they would see on a endoscopy. You may not have that kind of damage, but you still are suffering. Your immune system is still being poked and prodded, and you still have an issue going on there. So a couple things. Damage to the intestinal barrier is a big thing. If you go to your conventional doctor here and you talk about leaky gut, that's what this is. That's the slang. That's the colloquial term, if you will. But it's damage to the barrier. But if you said, hey, doc, do I have leaky gut? They would just laugh at you. Yet this terminology is used thousands of times in the scientific literature. Damage intestinal barrier or intestinal permeability, which allows food particles. It can be lipopolysaccharides and dysbiotic bacteria particles, and it provokes the immune response. And look at this. Dysbiosis is a connection. It's found in these autoimmune thyroid patients. AITDS stands for autoimmune thyroid disease. And dysbiosis just means the imbalance in the microbiome is shifted towards the more pathogenic bad bacteria and away from the healthy bacteria. That'd be like the lactobacillus, the bifidobacter subspecies and such. And again, it's serious to the point where, dysbiosis is shown to, and autoimmune thyroid conditions are shown to increase the chance of thyroid cancer. So this is important. If we can prevent cancer and we can get to the root cause, and we know that these type of autoimmune issues go on for years and maybe even decades before they're typically diagnosed, well, we can get a hold of this stuff, right? We can get ahead of it and maybe prevent. That's the goal. So we have an increased number in carcinogenic and inflammatory bacterial strains were observed. And now we talk about micronutrients here. So we talk about iron, copper, right? They're crucial for thyroid function. Now, the big one here I talk about is iodine. Iodine's one of these Goldilocks things. In the beginning, I do not recommend it at any level outside of the RDA because of its chance of provoking and increasing autoimmunity. Lots of studies on it. Does that mean you should have 0 in your diet? Probably not. But in general, we have to make sure other cofactors are present. This is where iron comes in. Iodine, copper, magnesium, zinc, all very important for converting T4 to T3. Very important. And then again, talk about here a little bit more. Healthy gut function is very important for T3 levels, right? Probiotics and healthy gut bacteria play a major role in helping activation of thyroid hormone. So doesn't mean you just throw a whole bunch of probiotics in there. That may cause more problems. That may cause more inflammation. That may cause more bloating and gas and motility problems. Maybe even make you feel worse. Maybe even brain foggy because of histamine and such. But it's just something you want to think about. You really want to get to the root underlying issue. And so we typically, when we deal with gut issues, is a sequence of care and how we address things to provide the most optimal results. Like if you want to build a home, you have to grade the land first. You have to dig the foundation. You have to pour the cement. Then from there, you can start framing the house out. Then you can start laying down the piping and the electrical. And then you can start putting down drywall and then all your... There's an order, right? Same thing in your body. You have to do things in the right order to have the best results. So just want to give you that information there. We talk ad nauseum in my book about these components and about some of the root causes. And I've tried to distill it down into action items of what you can do. So if you enjoyed that, I'm going to do more videos like this and just take little excerpts from my book so you guys can see that, kind of get your head wrapped around it. But head over to thyroidreboot.com and that'll link right over to the Amazon page. And then you can get the book there, discounted price here this whole week. And outside of that, if you want more support on the functional medicine side, justinhealth.com. Link down below where you can reach out to my staff and team. We see patients worldwide on the functional medicine side if you want to get to the root cause of what's happening. All right, guys, Dr. J here signing off. And if you enjoyed it, please let me know in the comments down below. Take care. Bye, y'all.